A recent survey revealed that 75% of workers believe sex discrimination exists in the workplace. But what is sex discrimination? Well, sex discrimination is when you're treated differently simply because of your sex, either as a one-off or repeated action, and is unlawful regardless of whether it was unintentional. Experienced by both men and women, the Equality Act 2010 protects those who are discriminated against because of their sex, their perceived sex, or their association with someone of a specific sex. There are 4 main types of discrimination. Direct, when you are treated differently than someone of the opposite sex. Indirect, where organisational policies are applied equally to all employees but disadvantage individuals because of their sex. Victimisation, when you experience detrimental treatment because you've complained about discrimination. And harassment, where your dignity is violated and a humiliating, offensive or degrading environment is created. The Equality Act 2010 also details 2 other types of harassment related to sex discrimination. The first is sexual harassment, covering both verbal and physical acts. It can happen to men and women and occurs when someone treats you in a sexual manner. The second is when you receive unfavourable treatment because you didn't accept sexual harassment, even if you've previously accepted the conduct. There are some occasions where discrimination because of sex is permitted. If a specific sex is essential for a role, it's known as an occupational requirement and is legal as long as it serves a legitimate aim, is proportionate to the situation, and there isn't a less discriminatory alternative. For example, a women's shelter can justify hiring only female staff, as its residents may feel more comfortable. So let's take a look at how sex discrimination can appear in the workplace. Despite being a legal requirement, there can be disparity between the sexes when it comes to equal pay. If you do the same work or work of equal value, then you should be paid the same. It can be discriminatory for an employer to refuse to let you work flexibly if you have caring responsibilities for a child, elderly relative, or disabled adult. This includes being prevented from working part-time, alternative hours, or in a job share. Employers often use dress codes to communicate a corporate image, but it can be discriminatory if they prevent one sex from wearing something allowed for the other, such as prohibiting men from wearing jewellery when women are allowed. In some cases, individuals have been turned down for a job or promotion because the employer believed they would not fit in because of their sex. So what can you do if you experience sex discrimination in the workplace? Well, it's recommended that you try to resolve the situation informally by approaching an appropriate person to raise a complaint. Although if you've experienced a sexual assault, then it's advised that you file a police report, as it is a criminal offence. Alternatively, you can take a formal approach, following the organisation's disciplinary procedures, and if all internal options are exhausted, you can take the case to an employment tribunal. So how can it be prevented? It's a good idea to review policies and procedures to ensure a zero-tolerance approach to bullying has been instigated and behavioural expectations communicated to all employees. During the recruitment process, steer clear of references to particular sexes, focusing instead on the skills, experience and qualifications required. Be open to flexible working arrangements, redesigning roles to allow for part-time hours or job shares, provided the arrangement continues to meet the requirement of the role. Consult your staff when establishing a dress code, and try to avoid gender-specific requirements by adopting a code requiring all employees to dress smartly, rather than stating defined outfits. And promote an inclusive culture, where employees receive the support they need to reach their potential and are treated with dignity and respect. In summary, a gender-balanced workforce is better for everyone. So make sure you're aware of what constitutes sex discrimination, know the process for reporting an incident, and take steps to prevent it, remembering to focus on an individual's abilities rather than their sex.